This is the story of how Universal went from a disastrous opening day, one where 1,000 guests demanded their money back, to becoming Disney World's most serious competitor in 50 years. Disney owned Orlando for decades after Magic Kingdom opened in 1971, and for almost 20 years there was simply nowhere else to go. Universal finally arrived in 1990, but that opening day turned into a catastrophe when Kongfrontation broke down, Jaws malfunctioned, and Earthquake failed one after another. The park had to offer free return tickets to every single summer guest just to rebuild trust with the public. And that raises the question of how that park, the one everyone dismissed as a half-day distraction, became the destination now pulling families away from the mouse. Understanding where Universal stands today requires understanding where they started, and the truth is they started behind. Disney actually beat them to the punch because when executives learned Universal was planning a Florida park, Michael Eisner announced Disney MGM Studios in 1987. That park opened on May 1st, 1989, more than a full year before Universal could get their doors open, and that competitive landscape shaped everything that followed. But here's what's worth paying attention to, and it catches most people off guard. Despite that disastrous debut, Universal Studios Florida still drew 6.9 million guests in its first full year. People wanted an alternative, and they just needed Universal to actually deliver on its promises. The first real turning point arrived in 1999 when Islands of Adventure opened alongside City Walk and 3 resort hotels. Universal wasn't just a park anymore, it was a destination. But even then, most families still treated it as a day trip from their Disney vacation, making Universal the side quest rather than the main event. That was about to change in ways nobody predicted, too. 2004 brought a moment that would reshape the Orlando theme park industry, when J.K. Rowling signed a letter of intent with Disney to bring Harry Potter to the parks. Disney's plans were minimal, reportedly just 2 rides tucked into Fantasyland, including what one source described as an Omni-Mover attraction with a wand instead of a gun, which basically amounted to Buzz Lightyear with wizards. Rowling wanted more than that, and she demanded fully immersive restaurants, themed merchandise only, and a complete ban on mixing Harry Potter with other Disney characters. That meant no goofy hats in Hogwarts colors and no Mickey Mouse wearing round glasses. Disney wouldn't give up that much creative control, and that's when Rowling walked out of that meeting and went straight to Universal. June 18th, 2010 changed everything when the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened at Islands of Adventure. 20 acres of pure immersion drove Universal Orlando attendance up by approximately 36% that year. One Land, not a new park, but just One Land, transformed the entire equation. 4 years later brought Diagon Alley to Universal Studios Florida, connected to Hogsmeade by the Hogwarts Express, creating the world's first multi-park themed experience that actually required guests to buy park-to-park tickets to experience fully. Universal had figured something out along the way, and it was simple. They didn't need to compete with Disney on everything, just on the things that mattered most. The math gets interesting for families weighing their options, and the numbers tell a clear story. Disney's Magic Kingdom tickets now range from $139 to $199 per person per day, and by late 2026, peak pricing will hit $209, marking the first time Disney has crossed the $200 threshold. Add the Lightning Lane service, which replaced the old free FastPass system, and you're looking at another $15 to $45 per person per day just to skip lines, while Lightning Lane Premier Pass runs $300 to $400. Universal's one-day tickets range from $119 to $169, and their Express Pass costs more upfront, anywhere from $110 to nearly $380 depending on the day. But here's the thing that changes the calculation for a lot of families. Staying at one of Universal's 3 premier hotels, Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, or Royal Pacific, means Express Unlimited comes included free with your room. That benefit carries a value of up to $360 per day per person, and you're not paying extra for it. Disney offers nothing equivalent to that deal. Fairness demands looking at both sides here because this isn't a one-sided story. 30 rides with no height requirements spread across Disney World's 4 parks, while Universal offers 9 across 3 parks. Families with young children find dramatically more options at Disney that their kids can actually ride, with Magic Kingdom alone featuring 17 rides with no height requirement. Disney also owns the nostalgia factor, that multi-generational emotional connection that spans decades. Magic Kingdom has held the position of #1 attended theme park in the world for 19 consecutive years, drawing 17.8 million guests in 2024 alone. That number is nearly double what Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure each pulled. Universal counters with Superior Thrill rides and Velocicoaster, along with Hagrid's Magical Creatures, Motorbike Adventure, consistently rank among the best in the world. Families with older kids or teenagers find that matters enormously when planning their trips. Universal's system runs simpler too, since their Express Pass works anytime with no scheduling required, no app refreshing, and no strategy guides needed. You just walk into the Express queue whenever you want. May 22nd, 2025 marked the opening of Epic Universe, the first major new theme park in Orlando in 26 years. This wasn't a small expansion, but rather a $7 billion bet, the single largest investment Comcast has ever made in its theme park business. 5 theme lands fill the park, including Super Nintendo World, a Dark Universe Monster Land, a How to Train Your Dragon area, and a third Wizarding World location featuring the Ministry of Magic, where the Battle at the Ministry ride has been described as the most ambitious attraction Universal has ever created. $2 billion for Florida's economy in year 1 is what the park is projected to generate, along with over 17,000 new jobs. Universal Orlando's president Karen Irwin put it simply when she said this 4th gate changes everything. Industry analyst Dennis Spiegel from International Theme Park Services observed that over the last 15 years, Universal has brought the distance between themselves and Disney much closer, describing it as the most intense and competitive situation in the industry. Disney isn't standing still, and $60 billion committed over the next decade proves it. Plans include a Cars Land at Magic Kingdom, a Villains Land expansion, a Monsters Inc. area with Disney's first hanging coaster at Hollywood Studios, and a complete overhaul of Animal Kingdom's Dino Land into something called Tropical Americas, featuring Encanto and Indiana Jones attractions. Policy changes have also arrived that families asked for. January 2024 brought an end to the park reservation requirement for guests with dated tickets, while annual pass holders can now enter most parks after 2 p.m. without a reservation. The Disney dining plan also returned after its long absence. Understanding why families choose Universal over Disney comes down to something simple, and it's not that Universal is objectively better. Universal has become a legitimate choice in a way it simply wasn't before. Orlando meant Disney for 35 years, and nothing else came close. Now, for the first time, families can build an entire week-long vacation around Universal with 3 theme parks, a water park, a massive entertainment district, and nearly a dozen hotels ranging from value to luxury. Disney still holds roughly 68% of Orlando theme park attendance, which means the competition has never been closer, but that gap is shrinking, and for families who want world-class thrills, simpler logistics, and that Express Pass included with their hotel room, Universal has become more than a day trip. It's become the destination.